Reported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Chris and Nina show. I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Nina. Good evening.
Yeah, so Nina, how have you been? What's been going on? How was your week?
Dude, this week just went quick, as if 5 seconds, later. So we're here again, thankful and busy as usual. It was a pretty hectic week. Thankfully, we had that holiday, July 4th weekend.
Yeah, what did you do?
Oh, what I've done. Well, I was busy hosting people, friends, family, co-workers. We had our office meeting in a party version. And, people must have seen our little video that we posted earlier this week.
Yeah.
It was very fun. It was a lot of fun. Unexpectedly busy. I actually did not plan party this year for 4th of July.
It's like an impromptu, right?
Yeah. It was,
yeah, a lot of people showed up. I had a ball.
Yeah, because normally we're in the office and meeting everyone and talking about business and exchanging information and trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
It's always fun when it's in a party environment, right?
Yeah.
So that was very fun, and I'm happy that a lot of people made it. Some people live far, so they couldn't make it, and there was a lot of traffic. But the planning and the organization, everything was really on point.
Yeah, traffic. On Sunday it was somewhat, but on Saturday it was no. On Sunday, on Monday it was okay. On Sunday it was disgusting. Everybody and their mom I thought was going to the pool. At the pool, to the beach.
Yes, everyone did go to the beach. You're right.
It was it was crazy. It was killer hot though. It was definitely like, if I wasn't running around trying to sell homes, I would have been at the beach too.
But you know what? I feel like it was a good thing, because I used to be really afraid of those Mondays off, because normally Mondays are a war zone.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty fun to go through it quietly and happily.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Good evening.
Yeah.
We have some people commenting.
Yes,
So
good evening.
guys. Yeah, but 4th of July, wow, it was wow. Those of you who don't know, and I mentioned it in the previous show, Bergen Beach. I want to thank everyone in Bergen Beach for making quite a show.
Yes.
That was a big thing. One to remember. Every year it just gets better and better. But it was definitely a show to remember. I have some videos I'll send you later. Where have you been that later day of 4th of July?
Well, I had another barbecue to go to with my kids. So
Okay.
I went to that. And the feedback from the show has been pretty good. I got a couple of listing appointments, and it was a great weekend. I didn't really barbecue myself. I just went to other barbecues and ate a lot.
Surprisingly, it was busy at work too. You remember I even mentioned it to you. A lot of people were calling us for houses that same day of 4th of July. And I was pretty surprised. People are actually, but those who were contacting us, or anyone in the real estate business, during a holiday, I always say, those are the ones who really are in need of a property. So it's really important to address and to answer those people who reach out to you, because even myself, when I went to purchase a home, I happened to have seen a house on Labor Day, I think that was.
Okay.
And you only need that one person to show up at your open house anyways. But especially when it's during a holiday, you know for sure those people are out there searching during a good time where they could be spending someplace else, and they're coming to your home to your listing, to your home to try to find a house. So those are definitely ones that you want to address.
Yeah, so holiday weekend is a fabulous time to go look at houses, and those, you're right, it's the most serious buyers.
Yes.
And dedicated sellers. It takes two. So to go to an appointment during a holiday weekend, and for us to work on the weekend and deal with our clients, those are we're lucky to have clients that are stepping out on the 4th of July on the weekend as such to see their future home or their future investment. Yeah. So,
but even, you know what, I have to mention, the morning after July 4th, I got 2 text messages asking to purchase my house.
wow.
To purchase my house,
All
yes.
right.
I think I put it in a group, but yes, it's that was surprising because, number one, hey, how they got my information, private buyers. It's not like they're realtors. Yeah, there are some realtors who are acting as buyers and then eventually try to list your property. That's fairly annoying, but those were buyers who actually mentioned their own address of where they are in Bergen Beach, offering me to, hey, step up and give me a number. Wow. So that was pretty impressive. Yeah, I got 2 tentative purchasers. But aside from that, a lot of people are out in the streets. It's definitely a good opportunity to make conversation, to start to continue to work, to do business.
Yes.
I told you how much I love the streets, and if it was up to me, I would be in the streets all day long. So it's really a good opportunity to be outside, if whether it's during the summer or even in the winter when people get home and they want to have a smoke outside, or they have to clean up their front lawn, anything that has to do with the streets and meeting people face to face, it's always better. I'm not saying door knocking. Okay, I'm just saying being there in the right time, in the right place of where you can make conversation with the tentative sellers.
Yeah, I usually go for a walk around 7 a.m. and I see people watering their gardens or tending, either 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. When you walk the neighborhood, you see people manicuring their home or watering the plants, and you just strike up conversation, give a business card, and just get to know people in your community. It's the easiest way to get business and to get referrals. And that's how you move to another community, because, one person knows another person. And then next thing you know, you have a good group of people that you have, or clients that you get from networking your area.
Yeah, some people have on their signature line, my best business card is my referral. People who give out your information, you did a good job. So you can always, make everyone happy. As I mentioned once, about that ice cream and being a leader, it can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
So do try your best, but it definitely works when you do well, because they remember that. And you should keep in touch regardless. Even when you finished your file, you still want to be in touch and ensure that you just not always want to get a good feedback, but also to keep in touch. You never know who's gonna need assistance in their family.
Yeah.
And it's easy enough for them to say, hey, this one helped me out. How about you try them out? It's always fun to hear from close ones.
You know what the biggest challenge this time of year?
What?
The heat. Oh my goodness.
The what?
The heat.
Yes.
I
love
wow.
it.
No, I'm talking about being in someone's house with no AC.
Well, you mean when meeting a client and they don't have a reputable?
When you're going on a listing appointment and you're in a house and there's no air conditioner and that's what happens to me. I'm like, my goodness.
So listen, you can control. What are you gonna do? So
I bring change of shirts.
Sometimes there's not the best smell, so you want to put your mask on.
Thank God for the face mask. Yes, thank God for the face mask and some bubble gum, some like spearmint gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it is what it is. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
There's almost
yeah.
But you can always ask them to step outside, so you can see their outside space and
Yeah.
try your best. Listen, it is what it is. Not everything is perfect, so
Yeah.
you want to be able to put as much as you can into the conversation with the seller. After all, they listen to you, they learn from you, they want to go by what you say and by what you know. That's when they test your ability to either satisfy them, sell their home,
Yeah.
or disappoint them.
Well, I always keep a towel in my bag. I mean, hey, gotta do what you gotta do to get that deal, to get that listing.
Yes.
So, but that's why I said the heat is the biggest challenge, though, because some homes don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, I'll take that though over snow.
Oh,
I'll take
the
that
snow. I love the snow.
No.
Man.
Although I'm a winter baby, I am not a winter person at all.
Okay.
I'm not a morning person and I'm not a winter person. I like the
We
heat.
are the opposite. I am the morning and I am the winter.
Yes, so sometimes we match, sometimes we don't, and now we're the opposites, but we get.
I know. Look at our colors today. I don't know. You're all off.
After all, it's important that we do what we love.
Yes.
Because we love what we do, and the more we do it, the more knowledgeable we become. We never stop learning, so the experience is always fun. And no matter what you do, if you do it well and you get good feedback, it's always fun to continue. So all you need is just clarity and consistency.
So for a new agent starting in the business, would you recommend starting in the summer, fall, winter, or the spring?
Oh, definitely the summer. Definitely the summer, because it's very easy to get, it's just not only misguided, but it's just, you want to be able to feel it out, to be outside, to ask questions, to communicate as much as you can. And to experience that, you need to actually be there. You see, it's not always about, it's like the foreclosure business, right?
Yeah.
No one really teaches you that. Like, you go to school for real estate, but you don't really, yes, you learn about it. You learn the laws, and you learn a little bit about banks and how they do, and the loans themselves. But no one really teaches you how to go about the foreclosure if you're in it. Like, for example, so we have a client that wanted to be in our podcast tonight, and she actually she gave us a pretty nice video. She sent us a video to show about her situation, but it's not easy at all, and you want to be able to ask your questions and to ensure that whoever's handling your file does it well, because you only get so many chances to work out with your bank. A workout option, we call it.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you pick the right one. Now, how do you know who the right one is, right?
You don't.
So it's always good to look at the history and to ask for other addresses, ones that were sold, how long after they were listed, how long ago they were sold thereafter, and then what bank they were working with, what banks they've done business with, and maybe even ask for a reference, not one or two, but like 4 or 5 people. So who you're dealing with. We specialize in foreclosure. Yes, I know that. But sometimes even us, we run into a dead end, and we need to ask an attorney or two how to proceed with that. But overall, the process of your workout option is just going by the guidelines of the bank itself. So it's very important to to address the necessities of that bank, of what they want in order to get you out of your misery, basically.
And it's different negotiations for different lenders.
Yes.
It's not a blanket. It's not a one size fits all.
Right. Even those who keep their homes and decide to go for a modification, that's also considered negotiations, because the name of the game is really what agreement do you walk away with. So if you decide to sell your home, if you decide to keep your home and go for a modification, what they're actually doing is take everything that you owe and put it in the back of the loan.
Arrears.
But then not all the time what they add as charges and fees to your loan is fair for you. And they don't know that, meaning the clients, they don't know what they're being, charged.
Yes.
So you need to be able to check, to verify, to ask questions. What are they? And then the banks can tell you what they are. But then professionals like us can just simply negotiate it down, cancel them sometimes, or even put them in in a plan that that the government is going to take over. There's a lot to it, but you want to ensure that what is that?
She asked, can you explain what is a closing?
Okay, so a closing is where everything is pretty much done in terms of a sale or a purchase. So if you're a purchaser and if you're a seller, okay, you first go into the offer stage, you do your inspection, you do your loan, if it happens to be a non-cash deal, right?
Yes.
So you do your loan, you take a mortgage. Once you're approved for the mortgage and simultaneously your attorney is working title, when the house is
the history of the
sold,
house.
Right? So then it's time to close whenever the loan is approved and the seller is ready to sell and the buyer is ready to buy. That's when the closing is being scheduled between the attorneys. And Chris, you want to say something?
Yes, you have the title company, you have the seller's attorney, and you have the listing attorney, and everyone comes to the table with all the documents, and the attorney sits there and helps you read each document, and it's a lot of signatures, and it's a transfer from the seller to the buyer. And once you sign all the documents, the funding gets transferred, the money from the loan gets transferred and goes in the buyer's name.
Correct. And then they're asking, don't they have low income housing funds for closing? Yeah, for sure.
Yes, there's different programs.
Yeah, different programs. So those, sometimes they give you 75% of the purchase price. So if you purchase a house for $1 million, they give you $750. And sometimes they give you all of it. So $1 million purchase house, they give you $1 million. So it all depends on the type of loan that you're applying for.
Yes.
So if you decide to apply for a loan that suits you best, whether you're a veteran, whether you work a city worker, or some type of specific program like NACA program, right? So that is not considered the low housing funds, but there's also HPD funds. Do you know about that, Chris?
No, HPD funds?
Yeah, so HPD, Housing Preservation and Development in New York City, they have a program that they even help you purchase a home if it falls under certain guidelines. So you may be surprised. Yes, definitely low housing funds for closing is available for you, and reach out to me and I can email you all the information.
Now, also, if you don't have the low income funding, but you don't want to come out of pocket and pay for your down payment, you can also do something called a seller's concession.
Yes.
What's a seller concession,
Okay, so seller concession, Seller concession is a portion of the purchaser's closing costs
right,
that the seller is willing to cover at the time of the closing.
Yes.
So if, for instance, you have a certain amount of funds available for only the down payment, then you can ask from the seller side to cover that seller concession part. So at the time of the closing, if let's say your purchase price is $1 million, then you can add your portion of the closing and convert the purchase price, change the purchase price into $1,020,000.
Yes.
And then that portion is being used towards your closing costs. Now, when you see the statement after you move in, you get your mortgage statement. When you see that statement, you will get a mortgage statement with a balance of $1,020,000, not of $1 million. So they take your closing costs and they put it inside mortgage. What's the next question?
So we only have $1 million homes? Well, that was just an example.
No, that's it's easy just for the calculation. 75%, 85%, we go to 925,000, you're gonna have to start calculating. No, absolutely not. We have as low as 500,000, I believe, in Long Island, and as high as, sky's the limit. But yes, for sure. So you're welcome. And
we're just giving examples and using numbers.
It's just easier to calculate.
Yeah. And then also there's different reasons why people use a seller's concession, or if you're doing low income, there's just because it's expensive to move. So when you're buying a home, you have the money that you use to purchase. But if you don't have to use that money to purchase, you can use that money to move and buy your furniture and other expenses that come with moving.
Yeah. So we have different listings, really. We have different listings. We work in the 5 boroughs and in Long Island.
Now, in Long Island, what you have to be careful, the houses are lower in value. However, the taxes are higher. Relatively higher. Yes.
Sometimes it could be higher in Long Island, even though in Brooklyn it started
raising
a little. But yeah. The name of the company, so they're asking for the name.
Yeah, the name of our company is 5 Borough Realty.
Yeah, that's for the 5 boroughs, and then the company that's going to handle the Long Island side is 5 Borough Long Island Realty.
Yeah.
And then we have management companies, we have funding companies that we're associated with that we can introduce you, and we have construction companies that we're affiliated with that we can introduce you. If you go for a house that not necessarily is finished, okay, if you move into a house that you hate the kitchen, but then you love everything else about it, you're still able to move in and make use out of that home until you change the kitchen. Or if your house is inhabitable and then you want to fix it, you can still purchase it with a mortgage. Sorry.
He's asking, do we buy houses?
No, we don't buy houses. We're a brokerage company. But back to what I was saying before, if you're purchasing a house that a mortgage could not cover, meaning because you need your house to be able to pass minimal inspection with heat, water, plumbing, electric, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't have that and you really want the home. So there's a thing that's called 203K loan, where the bank really helps you purchase it, and then it gives you, they give you the opportunity to select your own contractor.
Yes.
And then when it comes to do we purchase homes? No, but we do have a lot of hedge funds companies, and we have small investment groups that we know and affiliated with who purchase your homes in less than 30 days if everything works out and the terms are in place.
Do we help people with Section 8? So people who rent, yes. Yes, we deal with renters and that have vouchers and various programs.
Yeah, I do want to mention though that we don't really have a lot of rentals. Sometimes we do it as a courtesy for the homeowner who purchases a house and they ask us if we rent apartments. Absolutely. Just not all the time it's available. And a lot of people are calling us for rentals and we really want to help them. But that's not really our main business here because we're not rental agents. But we do have those homeowners whom we sell homes to. And then they wanted to go through us because we have the opportunity to do the background check, the credit check, see the history of their, whether or not they've been in eviction. It's very important to look into that because not all the time it affects the credit of the renter himself. So that could be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, so sometimes also we get listings that there's multiple units and the next buyer may want the property to be vacant, or sometimes the house is in foreclosure and then the house has to be vacated. So we're connected with folks that would help those people relocate. So we don't necessarily relocate them, we just have somebody else that handles that part. Yeah. So
also cash for keys. That
was the program last week. Yeah. So,
So don't really let any home turn you off when it comes to occupied homes because there is always, in most cases, there is a solution that you can come up with, and there are special companies small companies who help you deal with that, management companies. And thank you guys. Thanks for the nice words.
Yes, thank you for the feedback, Imelda.
What else? So that was for purchasing and lending. You do have some sessions that some banks make you take, and they give you like credits for it.
Yes.
You know, when you go and attend some workshops, that's a lot of plus that you gain, not only for the side of, you know, getting hooked up with a good loan and learning more on how you could save and whether or not taxes and insurance is included and how to go about it, but just simply for your own knowledge. It's really important to learn all the time. And for you, the more you know when you purchase a home, the easier you go about it when you're becoming an actual homeowner. What are they saying over there?
Do you have connections to purchase homes in North Carolina or Georgia?
So we try not to do that. Just out of, you know, courtesy, I reach out to people I know and I, you know, hook up people whenever I can. But work-wise, we don't do work over there because it's just, we prefer to like stick to one thing and be in one place, because to assist someone and to work in a place with someone, you need to be there for them. And you don't want to do any mistakes. You really don't want to assist someone partially. If you do it, you do it from start to finish. You don't want to be half and half. So we're talking about someone's house here, right? So
Yeah.
I would want to stick local. In 5 boroughs and Long Island is really New York.
Yes,
State.
we are in New York
So
State.
it's all of New York, mainly the 5 boroughs, and then Long Island.
Yes, that's mainly what we.
Yes, that's the answer to your question. With regards to condos in the city, yes, it's a whole other ballgame, and it's not something that we specialize all day long. We do have some apartments in the city where it's also different. You're dealing with HOA, right? You're dealing
Yes.
with monthly payments. Some properties in Brooklyn and in Queens, they have HOA. Those are the boards that sometimes handle and manage specific blocks. So they charge you on a monthly basis. They charge you on a monthly basis fees that are associated with that homeownership program that you purchase, and you're a part of that.
And not only do you have to get the mortgage, but you get approval from the board as well. So it's a different process than just buying a single family home.
Yes.
So you have to go through the board, and then on top of getting the mortgage, and you can have the money, you can have the money for it, and they could not approve you to live in the building, and you won't get the apartment.
Yes, very annoying.
And it has nothing to do with the owner.
Yeah, and sometimes everything's perfect, but then they could select the smallest thing, not to select you, not to approve you. It's
Yeah.
very frustrating because you can't really complain to no one. It's not the broker's fault and it's not the seller's fault. After all, we want to make the deal happen and ensure that everyone's happy.
And then it's a challenge to get in, and also it's a challenge to get out.
Yeah, sure. And that's, we're talking condo. Imagine co-ops.
Yeah, co-ops.
It's a whole other ballgame too.
Yes,
But it's doable. It just depends on the type of purchase and your necessity, your requirements, and what you're looking for and what you want to do and how to do it. So that's the different types of properties that you're looking at. And not all the time people just know. So they prefer a single thing because that's what they know.
Yeah.
So you need to always research and ask your questions and ensure that that realtor that you're working with is experienced, okay? And of course, the team of attorneys that you pick and choose to work with.
How many people are on that team?
That's what they're asking.
Yeah.
How many are we? Like 30?
Yeah, I can say about 30.
About 30 of us all over the 5 boroughs in Long Island. We have from, I guess, the condos to mansions. We have really nice mansions out in Long Island, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
One day we're going to do a show from the mansion. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we just got to get the Wi-Fi and get it all situated.
Yeah, one of them just finished building the dock to the jet skis and the boats. So if it's not going to get too noisy, maybe we'll do that out of there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. So it's almost that time for us to take this short break.
Yeah.
And
Wow, that went by fast.
yeah, it's like just like this weekend.
Yeah, so we're gonna see you guys soon. All right, we're gonna take just a tiny break, and we'll be right back. Right?
Looking to podcast shows and do not know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that. Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
Okay, hi, welcome back.
That was 2 seconds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, when people are shopping for a home, what would you say is the most important key to finding the right property?
Okay, so necessities and requirements of,
What you're
obviously
trying-
aside from
yes.
location, right?
Yes.
Aside from location. If you know more or less where you want to be, you can compare the zip codes. They're right next to each other. You want to be
Yes.
able to ensure that your school zone works for you and your kids. And if it's not kids related, then you want to ensure that your work is close by. I had the opportunity to live in a wow house.
Yes.
But I didn't because I chose to be close to where I need to be, whether it's work or kids. So that's really, so location is number one. And then,
I don't agree with that either. Number one is know your budget. You have to know your budget before you go anywhere. Know how much you're going to spend monthly.
That's
how much you can spend on a down payment. Like the financial part to this is the shopping, the house. That's the candy. That's
the actual house itself for sure.
Yeah, but you have to sit down and work your budget, not just for purchasing the property, but after you purchase. Understand, some folks move from an apartment and as renters, and then move to a home, and they do not realize they have to pay a water bill.
Yes.
It's different. Also, even people that own homes, I've been to some homes where it didn't really smell too good because they don't realize that at least once a year you have to clean your sewer line. If you ever see those vans, it says $49, right? And it costs more than that if you
actually call them ones.
Yeah, yes, you have to at least once a year because the sewage can sit right underneath your house.
Yes. Yeah, and sometimes people don't even know that they need to clean the sewer, not only from them to the main, but to the street all the way out, because you need to clean that. Not all the time the city property even lets you clean. At some places you need to ask for their permission.
Yes.
And sometimes they even charge you. I had a place where a property where the sewer was cracked on the city side.
Yeah.
Wow. They ask them, sad story, but still it happens. But you want to ensure that when you purchase a home, they have a way to insert the cameras all the way out to the street. Wait, some question again. Sorry, what is that?
Say, it could become nasty. Yes, yes, it could. Also, sometimes you buy a home and you see trees. And you don't see this while you're purchasing it.
Oh, yeah.
But when you live in it, and then
the
tree could be blocking your sewer, and it builds up on it. And then sometimes people, oh no, that's the basement. No, it's not the basement. It's not the mold. It's you going to the bathroom and it's not leaving. It's not being flushed out. So yes, these are little things that you have to budget for when you purchase a home because life happens.
Yes. Sure.
And then when you're using the pipes and you're using the plumbing and, I don't know about you, but over COVID, nobody left. So I had these kids got stuff. I don't know. I think I had to learn how to, because I didn't want anybody to come in my house. So I had to figure out how to fix the plumbing because, like I said, kids.
Imagine that's you. Imagine you have tenants.
Yes. Yes.
You know, having tenants, God bless them, it's not an easy thing to do, but you need to ensure that you guide them and you tell them, okay, so no wipes in the toilet. And if you do use wipes, then you need to ensure that the wipes are flushable, you know, so you really have to be on top of your game as a landlord as well for all the sewer. And so back to the tree, by the way, I want to say something.
Yeah, Shane said something too, but go ahead. We'll go back to the tree.
Okay, so the tree, even if there's a problematic tree on that property line that you're purchasing, you can't really touch that. Also, you know, the parks department, they're the ones who are really only ones allowed to touch it. So you need to really go through them to do anything that's related to a tree that's on the common areas, like outside on the sidewalk. What was the question?
And Shane said a tree was breaking through the concrete of his house, and the city said he had to pay for it to get it removed.
Oh, yeah.
I had a similar situation, but I had a tree, and it was my house plus 2 other houses, and we all chipped in and got the tree removed.
Wow, it's unfortunate, but yeah, they make you do that because it's really a city property, so you need to ensure that you go through them, because otherwise they could penalize you and you'll never end.
And the craziest thing was the tree that I had fruit, and unfortunately, when we got rid of it, all these squirrels started eating up all the bulbs, and they were going like for a whole year and a half. Now I don't see them anymore. They found food somewhere else. But yeah, they were destroying my flowers and searching for food because I didn't realize that fruit that was coming from the tree, they were eating it.
You know what? In some religions, you're not even allowed to move a fruit tree. So people sell homes. But I had a client that he bought a small house on a big lot where he planned to do an extension. Okay, planned to do an extension to the side and back. Okay, so he had a small house on a big lot, and then he went to the side and back. He wasn't able to move the tree because it was a fruit tree, right? You're not allowed to move. You're not allowed to take out a fruit tree, and altogether, you're not allowed to take out a fruit tree. Some say, oh, you know, you can take it out as long as you plant it someplace else. Don't, you know, just find out if your religion allows it. But he ended up selling that house because of that fruit tree.
Yeah.
So someone else came and he purchased it, and they built a big building.
Now, have you ever shown a client a home that was above their budget, and then they purchased it because they fell in love?
Absolutely. So, and that's actually a very important question, because when someone wants to purchase a home, what do they do first? They go to a banker, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they go to that banker could be, number one, he could be the bank, and he's doing the servicing, and he's the banker, and he's a mortgage broker, right?
Right.
He could be the bank. Number two, he could be working for one bank. Number three, he could be working for various banks where he could really, you know, compare your rates and get you the best deal.
That's the best kind of broker.
Therefore, when you go to one broker, you don't know as a buyer, me too, like I wouldn't know, right? I would think, okay, even if someone used them, I would say, okay, he did a good job, I'll go to him. No, you need to go to different mortgage brokers. Always ask, find out, figure it out, look up at least 2 different bankers, if not 3, because different bankers have different products. Just like agents have different homes, that's the exact same thing as mortgage brokers. So many of you say, oh, you know, I'm not going to go to a different mortgage broker because it's going to hurt my credit, it's going to get even lower. No.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you do that within that same time frame of a mortgage research, your credit does not get hurt. It goes by, you know, the timing. Of course, it has to be in a timely manner, not like a year later. It's a couple of months. We need just to look that up, but you should definitely go. And then one banker can approve you for a higher price.
Right. You shop around for your mortgage like you shop around for the house.
For sure. It's very important.
It's super
really,
important.
Really important.
Like I said, the first thing is know your budget.
Yeah.
So if you have to extend and go above and beyond what you're willing to spend, you have to also know that you have the green light if you want to make that choice.
Yeah. What's in your opinion the second thing?
The second thing?
Yeah.
The second thing is to be on the same page with your significant other. Now, if you're buying it by yourself, then there's no second thing for you.
Yes.
But yes, have discussions, have conversations. Trust me, it's not easy to buy a
pen and
home.
paper.
Yes,
Write it down.
yes. And then understand that you're going to probably shred that paper and make a new one, because as you start to see homes, her vision and your vision may start to change.
Or his and his.
Or his and his, yes, yes. Whoever you're buying the house with.
Yes. So when we say speak and take a pen and paper and literally write things down of your necessities and requirements, we'll answer your question in just a minute. You want to ensure that, okay, location, budget, fine. But then if you know that, for example, you're working in a trucking business and you come home driving a truck every evening or whatever to your home, you want to ensure that you have parking. You need to know that your house has that parking.
Yes.
Or not. Or maybe
Yes.
look into places with a lot of open street parking. So that's an example.
Yes.
If you know that you have to have an office, basement,
A man cave.
whatever, a doghouse, whatever. So that's really your necessities, your requirements. They're really, really important. You know, outdoor space. If you know you're a party animal, you want to ensure that you've got those. Okay, now what's our question?
Now, we're not mortgage experts, but the question is, how important is your credit score? If you have like a 670, would you qualify for something?
Okay.
That's a kind of a tricky question, because let's say you have money. You know, if you don't have a high credit score, but you have money in the bank, you can negotiate and still get a good deal. Am I correct on that?
So it's tricky because if you have the money in the bank for the down payment and you have the income and the history, but you don't have the credit, and that's answering that question. You need to be above 680, okay?
Right.
You could do somehow with 670, okay? But 680 plus already puts you in a much better position. But 700 is already in a very good position.
Right.
Okay? There are agencies who are working to fix your credit, whether it takes 30 days or it takes 3 months. Normally your mortgage mortgage broker will be able to tell you, okay, because of that credit card, you need to pay this down.
Right. Your debt to income ratio.
Yeah. Or sometimes they will tell you, okay, don't go for a new car while you're searching for a home, and don't be a co-borrower or a guarantor for someone, because that will ruin your chances of purchasing a home. So back to your credit question. Okay, you have a couple of different factors to how your credit could survive to be better, right? So you could pay down debt. You could work on your late fees. Sometimes you're late, but it really wasn't your fault, or it was done in error. So you have the option to dispute it. Okay?
Wouldn't they be able to do FHA?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? Like, why are you asking?
No, I mean, there's other options that are a little more flexible if they're under 700.
Absolutely, yeah. As long as you're above 680, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you're already doing it, you might as well do it best, right? You want to buy a house, you're planning to be there for 30 years, hopefully, okay? And even not 30 years, 5 years. You want to ensure that you have a good rate. You want to ensure that you have a good future in case you decide to sell. You're going to have a lot of equity. You're going to pay. It's fair. Fair is fair. And if you're already doing it, you might as well do it best. That's just me.
And not only that, if you're going through a program and because you don't have the credit score and you're looking at low income housing, they ask for a lot. I mean, you might as well give them your blood. Like, they ask for so
only if
much.
you're type O.
Yeah. Like, you have to like give them your whole life, and they just every month.
But I also understand them, because imagine you are a bank.
Yep.
You want to make sure that, you're not going to have to take them to court tomorrow. But totally understandable. But it's annoying, yes. But if you're persistent and you say to yourself, okay, I'm putting my credit cards on auto pay, and whenever I can, I'm just going to call up and give them some more money.
Well, you know what? Get rid of them.
True, but you need them sometimes.
No, you need like
to build
one
credit.
or two. If you got more,
You're
some
right,
people
but
have, a credit
you're
card for
right.
every store.
100%.
So I'm not saying all of them, but just one or two,
But
no problem.
use it and pay. Don't use more than 30%.
Yes.
Try not to go over even 20, and you'll be fine as long as you don't forget. Put it on auto pay, and then whatever you can, you pay more. Bring down your debt. Don't ever be late. Ever. Be late, because that gets you. That's actually worse than owing money. Did you know that, Chris?
Yes. Those latenesses, they get you.
There are two factors that really stop you from purchasing a home. Okay, when I say stop you, stops you. Okay, that prevents you from purchasing a home. One is foreclosure sale. Okay, that is just crucial.
Yes.
For us people. Do not let that house go into foreclosure. I know it's easier said than done, but do not ever let anyone go through foreclosure of sale. 7 years you cannot purchase a home. Sometimes 6, but 7 years you cannot purchase a home. That sticks to you, all right? That goes with you wherever you go, and it's not removable from your credit. So that is.
And even after 7 years, they can still see that you were in foreclosure. They can still see.
Yeah, but by law they can't stop you.
No, they can't stop you, but.
And then the second thing is a bankruptcy. A lot of people don't know that, but a bankruptcy is really not a big plus for you. So obviously situations happen and we can't always control it, and other factors just make you go through that, but it's workable. Okay, so it's workable. You can fix a matter of bankruptcy. Depends what type of bankruptcy and why you did it and how you do it. You can there is a way out, but that's really the two crucial things that you can do to your credit. Then a lot of you guys have I meet a lot of people who have student loans.
Oh yeah.
Student loans also are not good for your credit, but if they are the only one if that's the only thing on your credit, then also that's workable. Your banker needs to be able to understand you, and that's why it's important to select a good mortgage banker. But yeah, student loans is pretty, it affects your credit a lot. Yeah. So that would be something. Not prevent. I mean, look, we need it. People go to college. They have student loans, but it's doable. It's definitely doable.
Now, when we get past all of the qualifications and the mortgage side of things, now we're going to the house, and sometimes people want something traditional or modern, open or closed. So there's just so many different types of houses that you can view. I feel like open houses are more a thing now than they were probably about 10 years ago.
It's a
like
thing.
The open concept.
Oh, you mean the actual
like with a
layout?
Yes, there's no kitchen.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah,
no.
it wasn't. People
It's just one. Yeah.
That's also a religious thing. Like
Okay.
I specifically know that this religion, Muslim, for example, right?
Yes.
They don't like to have like the wife be seen cooking while they sit in the living room, and the Jewish people also
okay, so they like to have a separation.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So some people actually need that separation wall. People either love, I just feel like, in my opinion, people love or hate that open concept sometimes. But that's doable. As long as it's not a supportive wall,
Yes.
like a wall that holds the second floor of the house. As long as it's not a supportive wall, you can definitely take it down. Of course, you need to consult an architect and a contractor or an engineer sometimes to be able to bring that wall down. But that's also something that we check before we purchase a house. After we put the offer in, we bring in a home inspection, and they check that for us.
And then some people like to purchase a home and renovate it or change it. Mm-hmm. So they're not looking for the perfect house cosmetically, but the perfect space so that they can make the kitchen the way they want it, or make the dining room, living room, or the basement. And the
Yeah.
bedrooms. Yeah.
You just can't really find the perfect house, in my opinion. Like, it's never the perfect house. You always have to compromise. If it's the smallest thing or the bigger area, or, you can never find the perfect home. Like, if you as a realtor, okay, go to look for a house for your client, and then you see that you show them 20 different homes, and then on the 21st home they tell you, oh my goodness, I love that brick wall, for example. Okay, I love it too. In your mind you say, but I showed it to you only 15 times, before, and then they suddenly love it. They, in their mind, sometimes, even us as purchasers, we feel like it's never enough for us to compare, and you always want more and more and more, and you never know what's the best thing for you. That's why I say, take a pen, piece of paper, while you're sitting with your significant other, just think of what do you have to have. What do you have to have? So you have to have a 4-bedroom apartment or a house, okay? You know that the house has to be big. And if your house is large and you know that you can't find the biggest land in that area, then expect your land to be small, So you always have to compromise. It's really never enough.
In some places, you have small kitchen, small living room, small dining room, but the bedrooms are huge.
Yeah.
And then you go to another spot and the bedrooms are small, but the kitchen, the living room, the dining room is huge. So it's very challenging to find the right home and to find that balance that would suit you.
Yeah, for sure. It's not even about that, the way the house looks. It's just, if the potential is there, if you're a person that's willing to work things out in terms of, like, whether it's construction, the look of a house, then you can do it. But don't expect to, get it all. It's very hard. Do compare and do see what you can do to get the closest to your necessities. But don't expect to get the best home. But definitely do compare. And you know what I like to do whenever I work with clients and I'm on the buyer side, right? What I do is I put myself a schedule where I show them a couple of different houses. Sometimes it obviously takes a week because we see so many, right? I take them in my car, I go, and we go together to take a look at some houses, because sometimes they need to see the distance from where they want it to be to where they could be, right?
Yes.
Sometimes your area is more desirable for you, but when you go outside of the box a little bit to something, to a little bit outside of where you expect it to be, but you find something that you like better than what you've already seen. So when I take the control and I take them, I'm able to show them what I want. Sometimes on the way, they could tell, oh, that way, no, I don't want to go this route. But no, come, see, compare. Even, okay, you're not going to buy it.
Yes.
But you know at least your way to what you're looking for and be able to compare.
And there are instances where nothing matters, right? Like there's neighborhoods where houses are never listed, and then you got one house there, and it could be the worst house, but in the best neighborhood, and you'll get offers because people just don't care.
Yeah.
So that's also a factor. Like especially, I think before what was the hurricane we got? It was a Sandy. Before Sandy, waterfront properties were everything.
Yeah.
For
sure.
But if you waited till after Sandy, you could get a waterfront property a little bit cheaper.
Yes.
Because people were not buying them.
Yeah, people are still afraid of that flood zone, and I always tell them, look, New York is sitting on a rock.
Yes.
Okay? New York is sitting on a rock. It's a flood zone. There's nothing you can do. Nonetheless, Long Island, okay? But that's why we get flood insurance. It's not that expensive, and people think that it's not,
It was for a second after the Sandy but now it's back to what it should be.
But even a little after Sandy, it became already normal. But people are still afraid of that, the flood zone.
But a lot of those houses, I did a lot of appraisals in a lot of flood zones, and they raised the houses to so there are a lot of raised homes in the areas that got hit.
Yeah. Rockaway, and they have out in in Long Island, the further points in Long Island that they raised the basement. But again, I mean, they raised it. They got everything is on point and by code. There's no reason why people should be afraid to purchase in flood zones. It's totally okay. It's fine, and it's the mortgage, the appraisers, the engineers, or the inspectors are all making sure that you're safe and sound to be able to move into your home.
So listen, we are so thankful that you have taken your time to watch the show, and we encourage you to reach out if we did not answer any questions, or if you disagree with some of our answers. Please feel free to reach us. What's the number to the office?
We're gonna post it. It's the 855. They could also reach us on Instagram, Christina Real Estate Podcast, okay, or the 5 Borough Realty. Simple as that, just to put that in, or the 855-305 and then deal, DEAL, which is 3325. 805-305.
Yeah, don't be shy. Reach out, say hello, let us know what you need, and we're there for you.
Yeah.
If you're selling your home, we offer complimentary evaluations to let you know what your house will actually go for in the market. Because when you look on Zillow, and those numbers are distorted, because sometimes someone could have a brand new home and your home is not a brand new home, so it's not necessarily going to go at the top value. And sometimes those numbers are dated. So we can give you the true number of where your house will come in this market if you ever decide to sell. And we're here for all your real estate needs regardless.
Yeah, we work with a lot of banks also, so it's always pleasure to work with homeowners who are in trouble with their banks. Some homeowners also get really upset over their loan being sold. There's nothing wrong with that. They sign the loan. They also.
It's a great show.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Shane.
So back to your bank.
Shone, I'm sorry.
In case your loan is being sold, nothing's wrong with that. They just sign the loan from one to another. Nothing changes in terms of your mortgage terms. Even if you've done modifications and you have specific, agreements with your bank, nothing changes. There's nothing wrong with that. However, sometimes when they transfer you from one bank to another and you're on auto pay with the first bank, they're supposed to stop it. I had a scenario 2 weeks ago where they continued taking the money from my client, and then the third month already they're getting a letter of foreclosure. Ridiculous.
Because they didn't transfer the funds.
And
that happens a lot.
What do they know? The clients are expecting just to have their money being taken out of their account, while the other ones are planning to take them to foreclosure. Absolutely ridiculous. So that happens a lot. So just always look out and check your loans.
So, Nina, thank you. You had a great show. We thank you, and we're here for all your real estate needs. We love to help you. And if you can, let us know how we can help you. And we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Yes, for sure. So thank you guys. It was really nice being here today. Looking forward to next week, and reach out if you need anything, okay?
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.